说中文。
Chinese pot, Chinese pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese. Chinese pot, Chinese pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese.
Hello, newbies. This is Chinese Pod. My name is Ken Carroll.
Hi, 我是 Jenny.
Now, we're talking about kids once again.
对, we're talking about girls and boys again.
Yes, otherwise known as little emperors in China.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the influence they wield.
This is a fascinating sociological phenomenon.
It is. And this fascinating sociological phenomenon, hard to say that, we will follow up later in the lesson. In fact, we'll do it in about 90 seconds. Well, we'll give it a shot. But let's get on with the lesson now. It's always really the key, I believe, to learning any language or listening to any passage is to understand the context.
Yes.
And once you have a picture of the context, the words can sort of fall into place and you can guess and infer and sort of build up a picture of what's going on. So what are we looking at here in terms of context?
Well, today we are at a playground.
Okay.
Where kids are having fun.
Yep.
And this is a dialogue between two women.
Yes.
So one is asking the other whether her kids
Yes.
are playing there.
Yeah, so it's a common type of exchange. You know, you'll see parents or women, men, whatever, at the playground. The kids are playing. It's often a chance for parents to connect and talk and
对。
chat and stuff like that. Okay, so that happens in China too, absolutely. So let's go to the playground. Let's listen to it. It's really high frequency language, and we'll help you to break it down immediately after it. Let's listen 3 times.
好。Dialogue first time.
那是你儿子吗？
不是，
是你女儿？
不是，我没有儿子，也没有女儿。
Second time.
那是你儿子吗？
不是，
是你女儿？
不是，我没有儿子，也没有女儿。
Third time.
那是你儿子吗？
不是，
是你女儿？
不是，我没有儿子，也没有女儿。
Okay, now let's look at the language and see that particular exchange took place.
Exactly, let's translate it first.
那是你儿子吗？
Is that your son?
那是你儿子吗？
Is that your son?
那是你儿子吗？不是，
No.
不是，
No.
不是，是你女儿？
Is it your daughter?
是你女儿？
Is it your daughter?
是你女儿？不是，我没有儿子，也没有女儿。
No, I don't have a son or a daughter.
不是，我没有儿子，也没有女儿。
No, I don't have a son or a daughter.
不是，我没有儿子，也没有女儿。
So this chat is very high frequency language.
If you're a parent.
Or in any context, I guess, because the language is such high frequency stuff. At this level, we always go for the frequency, right? I mean,
对。
that's the key.
Yeah.
Not grammar or structures and stuff like that. Just the highest frequency situations in the highest frequency language you're likely to hear in China, visiting or whatever. And that's how we select it. So I can assure you that this stuff is all high frequency stuff. Now, let's go back up to the top. We do a little bit of analysis, not overdo it, but a little bit of analysis to help to get it together.
Yes. 那是你儿子吗？那是你儿子吗？
Now, the first thing you notice about this sentence is that it's a question. And
Yes.
the reason you know that is that you hear the word
妈，妈。
at the end of the sentence.
And that word creates a question.
That's what makes it into a question. That's
对。
right. Yeah. So in Chinese, usually you don't change the word order from a normal declarative sentence, an interrogative, as it were, into a question. You don't have to change the word order. You just stick a word at the end of it, and the word is
妈，
That's it. It's pretty straightforward.
Yes.
Now, so literally translated, the sentence is, that is your son, a question mark? Right. So let's hear how that went.
那是你儿子吗？那是你儿子吗？
Yeah. Now, so the word for son is
儿子，儿子，
good. And your son,
你儿子，你儿子，
and that is...
那是，那是，
Great. Now, when you put it all, and as this is it literally, it's that is your son, question mark.
那是你儿子吗？那是你儿子吗
That's how it works.
Yes.
A lot of these patterns you'll come across them again and again. So I do suggest listening and repeating it and getting into the feel of it. Okay.
Yep.
Now the answer is no.
不是，不是，
Now the verb to be in Chinese is,
是，是，
and the phrase to say no or that's not the case, that is.
不是，不是，
Okay, so is that your son? No, that's basically what's happened. All right. Now, well, is it then your daughter?
是你女儿，是你女儿，
All right. Now, the word for daughter is,
女儿，女儿，
and your daughter.
你女儿，你女儿，
And of course, you need a verb, as in to be, the verb to be. That's how it functions here. And so you have.
是，是你女儿，
Okay. Now, so literally translated word for word, that would be like,
This is your daughter.
yeah, or even is your daughter.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the verb to be. So it's tricky stuff, but listen for the patterns. Don't overanalyze. Just listen for the patterns. That's the suggestion.
Well, Ken,
Yeah.
here it's also a question, but we don't have the word ma.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
pay attention to that because in Chinese, with simple questions, you can leave out the ma.
That's right.
Raise your tone at the end.
Okay.
And it sounds like a question.
There you have it. Good. Now, let's push on. And then once again, we have this repetition of no, it's not.
不是，不是，
Fair enough. Now, the word again for son is...
儿子，儿子，
Now, here's the phrase, I don't have a son.
我没有儿子，我没有儿子
Now, the syntax here is similar to English. It's literally, I
，don't
do not
have，
have son. And
对。
so one more time, it's
我没有儿子
good. So the phrase 没有 meaning not have, do not have.
，yes，
Okay. And also, don't have a daughter.
也没有女儿，也没有女儿，
Good. So the word for daughter again is,
女儿，女儿，
and I don't have a daughter.
没有女儿，
Good. Now there's also one more element here, and it's the word also, and it's
也
okay. Wow, lots of stuff there.
Yes, but very high frequency and
Yes.
quite straightforward.
It is. And also, if you get these patterns down, you'll be able to substitute the nouns and you can apply this stuff into a million contexts.
对。
Yeah. Also, it's really important for listening because this is, again, such high frequency that listen to these patterns. And I really, the idea, I think, is for you to build up a picture of the language sort of cognitively and figure out these pieces for yourself. So listening to more lessons and finding the links between words and phrases is really the fun, I think. And
对。
it's what sort of builds a picture of the language.
Yeah, speaking of which,
Yes.
let's listen to the dialogue 3 more times.
Fine.
Welcome back to another installment of Chinese Pod Trivia. And the question for you is, for what test does Chinese Pod offer preparation services for? Is it A, the polygraph, B, the colonoscopy, C, the HSK test, or D, the CAT scan?
The CAT scan?
Ooh, sorry, that is incorrect. The correct answer is C, the HSK test. That's right, Chinese Pod will thoroughly prepare you to pass this rigorous test of proficiency in Chinese. ChinesePod.com/HSK.
Dialogue first time.
那是你儿子吗？
不是，
是你女儿？
不是，我没有儿子，也没有女儿。
Second time.
那是你儿子吗？
不是，
是你女儿？
不是，我没有儿子，也没有女儿。
Third time.
那是你儿子吗？
不是，
是你女儿？
不是，我没有儿子，也没有女儿。
Well, Ken, in the dialogue,
Yeah.
the expression your son
Yes.
and your daughter
Yes.
was 你儿子,你女儿.
Yep.
And some of you might know that yours or your in Chinese is 你的,
Yeah.
你的.
Yeah. So you can use both.
对,
Yeah.
you can use both. And quite often when you're talking about your close relatives,
Yeah.
you can leave out the.
You can leave out the duh. Okay.
对.
All right. Now, again, if you don't entirely get that, don't worry. You'll come across it again, and there are lots of lessons on Chinese Pod that explore that particle in much more detail.
Yes.
So you can use. So let's hear both versions of your son.
你的儿子,你的儿子,你儿子,你儿子.
So there's the example. You can use the duh if you like. All
对.
right. Don't worry too much about the analysis. Listen for the patterns at this stage. Tell us something cultural, Jenny, about kids, because it's a huge issue. One-child policy in China.
Oh, yes.
What?
Well, it produces a lot of little emperors and empresses.
The little emperor. Yeah.
Right.
Definitely the child who is the center of the life of 6 people, essentially.
Yeah,
Because
the parents and 2
parents.
sets of
2
grandparents.
sets of grandparents. And, you know, Chinese families traditionally are so strong and relationships are so strong that you've got these 6 people sort of, particularly if they're living in a relatively close area in the same city,
Yeah.
You've just got these 6 people behind this little emperor, and they elevate these kids to like mighty levels.
I think so. They can be quite spoiling, but it's also interesting that on the other end, parents or even grandparents tend to push the kid very hard academically,
Yes.
push them to succeed.
Yes,
So
yes.
you might see a 5-year-old kid like not having a free day,
Yes.
having to go to all different kinds of classes.
No, it's a very interesting mixture, I find, of the spoiling the child with, but also, driving them to achieve academically. And they have them going to classes and in piano classes and doing all this stuff. It's all done, of course, out of love and, trying to help the child to get ahead. But yeah, and once the kid does that, I mean, in China, if you do your study, you study hard, you do well, you
rule.
You rule. You rule the whole family. That's it. It's kind of interesting. And it's as if the kids don't have any other chores or any other duties. All you got to do is
Exactly.
just
It's to study.
Very interesting culturally. It's a theme I think I'd like to explore maybe in other lessons because it is very interesting, the effect upon society in China, how that. We've got these great little study machines.
对.
Very dutiful study machines. Anyway, we hope that was useful. We hope it was interesting. We certainly can guarantee you that it's high frequency and that you can explore any element of that we touched on today in almost endless detail on ChinesePod.com. So go there, explore, and you'll bump into us because we're there and lots of other people are there. So go and have a great time learning Chinese.
Yes, we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
再见.
再见.
As usual, ChinesePod provides an extensive selection of learning materials for this lesson on its website, www.chinesepod.com. You can access this lesson directly with the lesson number
1195.
So just go to www.chinesepod.com/1195
1195.
and you will find a transcript, vocabulary, and much more. The link again, www.chinesepod.com/1195.